Hello BookTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Juan, I am just one reader, and this time I will be answering the end of the year book tag. This is one of my favorite book tags. I think I've done it consistently every single year since I've been on BookTube, which is saying a lot. I've been around, my friend, I've been around. What I really love specifically, excuse me, what is going on in my throat? You know, there's a lot of gunk around the vocal cords, or the vocal folds rather, because I just woke up like 2 hours ago, and so it's still sort of vibrating the phlegm away. Never mind. I know it's very, very lovely to be discussing phlegm in the morning. Anyway, so what I really love specifically about this book tag is that it allows me to really enjoy making plans for the rest of the year, which is only like a month and a half. I'm doing this November 15th. I probably should have done this book tag earlier, like back in September or October, but I didn't. Anyway, I'm gonna do this now and I'm gonna enjoy it. What I also really love is that it allows me to be very specific and precise in my curating process for what I will be reading in the rest of the year. So, question number one. Are there any books you started reading this year that you need to finish? Yes, I am currently at the moment reading a big novel and a short nonfiction book. I am reading both of these books very slowly for different reasons. This one because I am enjoying it, like in very small doses, like every day I will read like a small passage, and I want to take it in like that, very, very slowly. This, by the way, is Letter from New York by Helene Hanff. It is wonderful nonfiction about New York back in the 80s. And it's told by the wonderful, the one and only Helene Hanff, who wrote the most delicious nonfiction that you will ever read in your life. And the big novel, the chunky monster that I am reading right now, is an Argentinian horror fantasy literary novel by Mariana Enriquez. I really, really like the original Spanish cover, which is this one. In Spanish, the original title is Nuestra Parte de Noche, which has been translated to English as Our Share of Night. And it has a more ridiculous cover with like a hand, or it's like a claw with, yeah, it's just a more juvenile cover, I think. This one is just, oh wow, so grim and so striking and so beautiful and poignant. I am really liking this book. It's, like I said, it's horror fantasy, literary. It's a mix of formats and genres, and it also makes me think of 100 Years of Solitude for some reason, and Edgar Allan Poe and Stephen King. It's good. I am reading it slowly. I am on page 200, so I still have over 400 pages to go. Question number 2 of the book tag is, do you have an autumnal book that will help you transition into the end of the year? So what is more autumnal than good old Harry Potter, the boy who lived? So this time, this year I am doing my reread along of Harry Potter, and the next one in my reread along is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is probably my top 3 favorite book in the series. This is just such a magical book. I think everything that I associate with Harry Potter, like the charm, the quirky colorfulness, the magical feeling of the Harry Potter universe is perfectly encapsulated in this one book. So I'm really excited to be reading this. It will probably take me like 3 days. This is like the 70th time that I've read this book. It's ridiculous how much I've read these books, but anyway, I'm still doing it. Question number 3 is there a new release that you're still waiting for? I guess the only new release that I'm interested in reading that I haven't gotten, that I haven't purchased, is Less is Lost by Andrew Sean Greer, which is the sequel to Less, which is a wonderful book. It won the Pulitzer, and I really, really loved it. And I haven't gotten my copy of Less is Lost. However, an also new release that I just got in the mail like 2 days ago, and it was published like this month. It's incredibly new, is Tom Felton's memoir, Beyond the Wand, The Magic and Mayhem of Growing Up a Wizard. Of course, you know who Tom Felton is. He was the actor who portrayed Draco Malfoy, or Malfoy. I say Malfoy because that's how J.K. Rowling used to say it way back when you know, Harry Potter was still emerging. But anyway, he was portraying Draco in the Harry Potter movies, and I've just always liked him. I think he's one of the more grounded and sensible and intelligent people in the Harry Potter cast. He's, I think, the only one who didn't overtly like turn on J.K. Rowling, which is something that I really, really dislike, how many people are now against J.K. Rowling just for having different opinions. But anyway, that's another can of worms that will not be opened in this video. I just really want to see what Tom Felton is like on the page. Question number 4. What are 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year? So, The Lying Life of Adults by Elena Ferrante. This is a literary fiction. I don't know what to call it. I think it is literary fiction. It's Ferrante. I think we need to come up with a Ferrante kind of genre, because she really has that vibe in every single thing that she's written, I think. So I don't know what this is about. I don't know. I haven't read the back cover. I haven't read a synopsis. All I know is that this is a novel by Elena Ferrante that I haven't read, which makes me very excited because I have loved all 5 books that I have read by her. And also I know that they are making this into a Netflix adaptation, so I'm very excited. Another book that I want to read is nonfiction, Backstage Pass to Broadway, which is a book written by Susan L. Schulman. She was a press agent for Broadway people, and she was really deep in the industry of like old Broadway, and you know, this is one of those gossipy memoirs about the people and the shows and the scandals and all of those wonderful Broadway things that I love reading about. I discovered this when I was watching Theater Talk, which is one of my favorite shows ever. It's on YouTube. You should go and check it out if you enjoy Broadway and theater and gossip. And Michael Riedel was discussing this. Michael Riedel is the author of 2 wonderful books about Broadway. So if you enjoy his writing, you might enjoy this one, I think. And finally, another book that I want to read before the year is over, when things are cozy in December, when I have a lot of free time to myself, just to curl up in a blanket and drink coffee. I will be reading Bookworm, which is a memoir of childhood reading written by Lucy Mangan. This is just a beautifully rendered cover. Just look at this metallic, beautiful thing. I really hope the inside of the book is as lovely and warm as the outside. It just, you know, it really makes me want to pick it up and start reading it right away. This is one of those quintessential books about reading and falling in love with reading as a child, and all of those wonderful tales of people coming into contact with reading and the act of reading and becoming a bibliophile. So people say this is great. Question number 5. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Well, it's very hard for me to say that. That's a big statement, because this year I have read some amazing things. This year I read The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb, and there are 2 books in that final trilogy, The Fits and the Fool, that I think will take the cake. I think they will take the first prize this year. However, there is a book that, it might sound a little silly to you, but there is a book that I have been hearing a lot of buzz about. It's a book that everyone has recommended to me and to readers like myself. It sounds like exactly the kind of book that could make my favorite book of the year, and that is A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. All I know is that this is like soft fantasy with very cozy vibes, with a lot of heart, with a lot of good storytelling, with a lot of great, colorful, quirky charm and eccentricity. I live for that kind of fantasy. I live for fantasy that is funny and whimsical and doesn't take itself all too seriously. That's why we don't like Brandon Sanderson over here in this channel. We just don't like that kind of ridiculously harsh, mechanical fantasy. No, I'd much rather go for this kind of whimsical, funny, mocking of itself fantasy. So I will see what I make of that. And finally, question number 6 is, have you already started making reading plans for next year, for 2023? All I know is that I want to keep reading the way that I have been reading this year, which is every day, consistently, maybe not a lot, but at least every single morning when I wake up, when the sun is out and I can have some silence here in the house before I start working. I work all night long. I work all day long. I work from like 11 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, sometimes later. I am a busy person. I have a lot of work. I enjoy my work, but sometimes I do find that free time for reading can be scarce, and I really need to make sure that I keep every day just a little window available for free reading time. Also, I want to read some specific things in 2023. I want to continue reading Robin Hobb's Soldier Son trilogy. I also want to read Joe Abercrombie's trilogy, The Age of Madness, which is part of the Blade itself and all of that. I forgot the name of that. The First Law universe. I also want to read some Daniel Abraham. I want to read Gormenghast by Mervyn Peake, is something that I really need to get on board with. I want to keep reading Charles Dickens because I don't think I read any Charles Dickens this year. So I might have to remedy that next year. I also want to keep reading fantasy and this kind of whimsical, funny fantasy that I've fallen in love with over my lifetime. Anyway, those are some of the plans that I have going on. I will see you in the comments down below, and I will see you on the next video. And I hope you have a great remainder of November and December, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.